Hey, Walter, you travel around the country a lot. Do you see this when you go to these abortion clinics, when you stand out in front? Because I've had people tell me, Johnny mentioned Washington, D.C., I've had people that have commented on MAFA saying, it's not 37%. We stand in front of this abortion clinic for days on end. We don't see anything other than blacks going in. Do you see that sort of thing, Walter?
Oh, absolutely. In Oakland, California, I was out on Tuesday morning, and we were out there for just about 1 hour in front of an abortion clinic. And within 1 hour, we counted 27 black clients going into an abortion clinic with just 1 hour. And it was impossible for them to service that many people in 1 hour. But that just shows to show you how many and the real percentages of those going into abortion clinics around the country.
You know, another thing also, Planned Parenthood says we're here and we're providing option. Abortion is only 3% of what we do. If these facilities are there with these resources to bring all of the different options there, out of those 27 people that you counted, they should have left out empowered with more options. But I'm willing to bet the majority of those, in the high, maybe 90, close to 99% of them probably had an abortion. Right. And so again, that's telling us that these people are going here to get these services, but they're getting abortions at the end of the day. So Planned Parenthood is not providing them all of these solutions that they claim to be providing.
Well, when I'm talking to the leaders, they're not necessarily moved by the numbers, and there are reasons why. The number one reason, though, there's 4 reasons altogether, but the number one reason is that the fellas are post-abortive themselves. They're in need of some serious healing. There's been an abortion in their life, in their family, in their marriage, in their congregation, and in some cases, the very worst case scenario is that it was their girlfriend in the back of the choir. And so we're talking about a whole new ball game. We talk about black leaders.
That's a sad situation, Walter. And, you know, we talked about this at the very beginning of the MAFA 21 project. We encountered a situation, as I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, it was in Mississippi, I think Johnny was involved with it too, where we encountered that very thing where some leaders down there were trying to get some black pastors to get on board, and they couldn't get them on board. And one of the things they discovered is that these guys had a history of having sexual relationships with women in their congregations, and probably that resulted in abortions, and so they're not going to get on board.
My reason for coming into the pro-life movement was, you know, MAFA 21 and some things that Life Dynamics has done. And so I agree 100% what Life Dynamic does is draw into the movement a vast, diverse group of individuals.
Absolutely.
But another thing that I think that we also need to point out here with this situation is that the same thing that's motivating action on their side is the same thing that's motivating inaction on our side. The thing that's motivating them to target blacks is race and color. And I think the thing that's keeping us from acting on this is race and color. We're committed to blacks. We saw that with the election of the president. A lot of us don't agree with his policies, but because of his color, we agree. NAACP, they do things that are not, it's counterproductive to the black community, but they have overwhelming black support. And I think color is causing us to not take action and respond appropriately to these numbers, just like color is causing the other side to target us.
Well, let's make sure people understand here in our audience. You're not an Obama supporter.
No, absolutely not. But the reason I feel like we're not seeing a huge uproar and outcry from the black community over these alarming numbers is because if we were to do that, that means that we're committing to this so-called all-white GOP, old racist party, and but we're forsaking the brothers, you see. And I think that is something that's hindering, you know, the appropriate response to this. Where on the other side, when they see race, they see that as an opportunity to target a whole group.
All right, let me give you a theory about this. I've had about this situation, and I think I've kind of touched on this with Johnny before, and I'll ask Johnny and Walter if they agree with this. We have made tremendous inroads already in the black community. You know, when we started MAFA, we thought we were going to put out 10,000 DVDs. We thought that would be a successful conclusion of the MAFA 21 project. So far, we've put out over 125,000. That doesn't count all the ones that have been bootlegged. That doesn't count all the ones that have just been duped and given to other people. That doesn't count all the showings that we've had in the public. We're still selling them. We're still putting them out. We're still having showings. So the impact of this thing continues to grow. But I think that it has been hindered because of basically what you're saying, because of Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. All right. In a few years, he's going to be gone. Mm-hmm. And let's say that the next person that becomes president of the United States is not black. Let's just assume that for a moment, right? I think MAFA is going to take off again right then, because you're not going to have that color dynamic that you have now. Walter, have you seen that? I mean, what do you think about my theory?
I think you're absolutely on target, and I'm not so sure we have to wait until he's out of office. I'm getting more requests now as we begin to see the fruit of some of his policies. Some of the stuff is just not working. And so, I mean, in January, I've got a black pastor in San Francisco for the very first time is going to check into the pro-life movement. Now, he's in San Francisco, and he's never heard of the Walk for Life West Coast. He's been that disconnected from the pro-life movement. Well, I'm going to be with him in January. We're going to be doing my Alpha 21 screening at his church, and yes, already we're starting to hear more requests for this type of information.
In my neighborhood, a white guy with blue eyes showing up with a hood, a white hood, that was never a problem. That was never a fear of mine. That was never a concern. It was my brother next door who was out to get me and not be. And I think what's happening is that now more blacks are starting to see Obama for who he is. This guy's a true threat. I think that love affair is kind of wearing off, and now we can really respond to the facts in the data here.
Right, that's right.